So I've been getting a lot of questions and comments regarding my wheel setup on my Toyota Hiace. So I figured I'd make a quick short video, well, hopefully it's short, kind of detailing what the wheels are and if they'll fit your van. Now, I am not the go-to source on all things wheel fitment on a Toyota Hiace, but I have had two different experiences, and I would say this has been the best experience so far. So to start the video, they are 15 by 7 with an offset of 8, so ET8. These wheels are OEM wheels in the North American market for 86 through 95 Toyota 4Runners, and they came on T100s of the 90s, and also came on 91 and 92 FJ80 LandCruisers. The wheels were originally just aluminum, so it'll be raw aluminum. They'll machine the face and then coat it in clear. But as with all Toyota wheels in that configuration, that clear coat will chip over time. So I had these refinished. And what I like most about these wheels is that they are a kind of classic 80s, 90s Toyota design. And you know, they're OEM, which is cool, and they fit pretty good. But I would say out of all the stock wheels that are available in the US to put on a Hiace, these are gonna be the most aggressive wheel that you can put on a Hiace. These wheels have a pretty aggressive look because of the offset. So they poke out of the fenders just a little bit. You can see this back wheel entire combo, how it's practically in line with the fender well. The reason why I say it's probably the most aggressive wheel that you can run is because of the sliding door. Nice. If this wheel was any wider or had more negative offset, your door, sliding door, will not clear. So this is just like barely touching. It's like probably just barely rubbing that tire. All right, so here's another view from the back side. Whoop! So you can see it comes up and it actually does hit the rubber of my tire. It kind of pushes the door out a little bit. You can kind of see it kind of touches it. And then as it comes, I'm gonna flip my camera around here. You can see I do have some clearance once it gets past that bulge in the tire. It comes, and then it clears on this back side. So as you can see, that's pretty tight. So if you decide that you're gonna do a wheel that is wider and has less offset, then you're gonna have to modify this arm so that it kicks the door out further. And possibly this mount as well to kind of get it out. To run these, I do not have any spacers. So there's no spacers. These are just bolted directly to the hubs, to the front hubs and to the back axle. I am running Goodyear Wrangler Trailrunner ATs, and these are a 235/75 R15. So doing the math, this tire diameter is like 28.8 inches. Using this wheel and tire combo, I did not have to do any trimming in my inner fender. I am running Moog springs in the rear, and I've adjusted my torsion bars. I have about 1.5 inches of overall lift in the front. The nice thing about this wheel is because the offset, how it's kicked out away from the interior side of the fender well, when you turn the wheels full lock, either direction, you're not bumping into the inner fender well or this front rocker area. A different tire might give you different results though. I think maybe, I mean, this tire is pretty square looking, but you know, maybe if you had like a BFG all-terrain where it's like real square, I don't know, you might have some rubbing issues. But you know, I've taken this over huge bumps turning and I never rub the inner fender, which is nice. Now be aware, there are a couple different versions of this wheel. So this is what was sold on North American vehicles, but there are some look-alike wheels that were sold on some JDM LandCruisers that were different specs. So one, there was a 16-inch version with 0 offset, and so that's going to possibly bring the wheel out even further. And there's also a 15 by 7 with a -20 offset, which would bring it out really far. So if you're looking at some wheels and find some on Marketplace and they say it came from a Land Cruiser, you want to make sure it's not one of those JDM cruisers, because it's going to be a lot of work to make them fit, or they just won't fit at all. And my last Hiace I installed this, like pretty much the same type of lift. I installed some wheels that were stock on a 2nd gen Tacoma TRD off-road. So they kind of look like this. And they're 16x7 and they have an offset of 30 ET, so 30 millimeter. And they technically fit, but with that ET, the wheels were inset more, and I had the same size tires. Well, I'm sorry, I had 235 series tires. They're about the same diameter, but they're on 16-inch wheels. But I had to beat the crud out of the inner fender, and I had to like almost trim some of this. I had to trim this black step. I had to beat this pinch weld because of how the wheel set in. When you would turn, it would rub all those points. So your offset is very important. And what is offset? Offset is the measurement in millimeters from the center line of the wheel to where the wheel mounts to the hub. An offset of 0 means the mounting point is in the center of the wheel. As the offset measurement increases, the wheel will look more flat and more of the wheel will be in the fender well. As offset measurement decreases, it becomes a negative number. The wheel will achieve a more deep dish look and may poke outside the fender well. Wheel backspace is another measurement to consider when fitting wheels. Backspacing is the total measurement from the inside lip of the wheel to the hub mounting surface. The control arms, tie rods, brake calipers, and other inner fender components will dictate maximum backspacing. The backspacing of a wheel is dependent on the wheel width and the offset measurement. Too much backspacing and the inner lip of the wheel will come in contact with the fender components. And so that's why this wheel is probably the most aggressive stock wheel that you can put on a Hiace. So anyways, I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out in the comments and ask, and maybe I can help you.